Ever stop and think about it? Who actually makes the rules we all follow every day? Well, that's what we're diving into today, the fundamentals of government. The system that pretty much shapes everything around us, from the roads we drive on to the rights we all have.
So let's just jump right in with a big question that really gets to the core of it. I mean, think about it. The traffic lights you stop at, the schools in your neighborhood, who is behind the scenes making all those decisions that kind of guide our lives every single day? Well, the answer, of course, is the government. But what's its real job? That's a question people have been wrestling with for forever, really. It's funny, an ancient Indian text called the Arthashastra actually boiled it down to two key ideas. Raksha, which is all about protecting citizens from harm, and Palan, which is about making sure everyone is doing well, their welfare. So protection and welfare, simple as that. Now, how a government actually pulls that off? Well, that's taken a ton of different forms throughout history, right? You've had everything from massive empires with one ruler to small councils of elders. But today, there's one system that's more popular around the world than any other, and that's democracy. And the name itself, democracy, literally means rule of the people. I love that. It's so simple, so powerful. But what does that actually mean in the real world? Especially when you're talking about running a whole country with millions and millions of people. Okay, to get our heads around that, let's shrink it down a bit. Just imagine your school wants to set up a student committee, to have a say on important stuff like what's for lunch or which sports to have. So how would you do it? There are a few options.
Okay, so option one, every single student joins. Can you imagine? It'd be total chaos. You'd never decide on anything. Then there's option two, a teacher just picks their favorite students. Yeah, that's just not fair, right? So that leaves us with option three. All the students get to vote for who they want on the committee. That feels like the right way to do it. And that right there is the basic idea behind what we call a representative democracy.
So, because it's impossible for every single one of us to be in on every decision, we elect people to represent us. But how does that whole system actually work, day in and day out? Well, to make it all run smoothly, democratic governments have a really specific structure. And this structure is all about splitting up the power into three different branches. It's not just to be neat and organized. It's super important for making sure no single group gets too powerful. So first up, you have the legislative branch. Think Parliament or Congress. Their job is to make the laws. Then you have the executive branch. That's your government agencies, the police. They're the ones who actually carry out and enforce the laws. And finally, you've got the judiciary, the courts, and they interpret the laws and handle any disagreements. Let me give you a really simple example of how this all fits together. Let's say the legislative branch makes a new law. You have to wear a helmet when you're on a scooter. Okay, so the executive, the police in this case, are the ones on the street making sure people are actually doing it. But what if you get a ticket and you think it's totally unfair? Well, that's when you can go to the judiciary, the courts, to have them sort it out. So that's pretty much the blueprint for a modern democracy, right? A system of checks and balances. But this whole setup is actually pretty unique. And to really get why it's so different, it really helps to compare it to some of the other systems out there. When you boil it all down, the biggest, most fundamental difference is all about one question. Where does the power actually come from? In a democracy, easy, it comes from the people. In a monarchy, it's passed down through a royal family. And in a dictatorship, well, there, power is usually taken and held by force. And that one difference, where the power comes from, it changes everything for the people living there. I mean, think about it. In a democracy, since the power starts with the people, the whole system is built to protect your rights and freedoms. You can speak up, you can criticize the government. But in a dictatorship, those rights are pretty much gone. The government isn't accountable to the people. It's only accountable to itself. And when you see those huge differences side by side, it really makes you understand why democracy, even with all its flaws, is still such a powerful idea for so many people. So let's dig into the core principles that really make it tick. Because it's about so much more than just casting a vote. It's built on this foundation of really important principles. You've got equality, the idea that the law treats everyone the same. You've got freedom, both personal and political. There's universal franchise, meaning every adult gets a vote. You have fundamental rights, which are written into a constitution, so they can't just be ignored. And, critically, an independent judiciary, so the courts are separate and can't be pushed around by the government. Maybe the best summary ever came from Abraham Lincoln. That one famous line, it just captures the whole thing perfectly. A government that comes from the people, is run by the people, and is there for the people. It's that simple and that profound. And that really brings us to a final, really important thought. If democracy is truly of the people, then whether it works or not, well, that doesn't just fall on the politicians. It falls on us, the people. It means we don't just have rights, we also have a huge responsibility to pay attention, to get involved, and to make sure the people we elect are actually doing their jobs.